Hey Mark, it's Stuart and James. Mark Shed Talk today. Anyone who come here looking for the amazing live stream that I promised tonight, you're in the wrong spot. I'm not well. It's an ongoing thing. I don't know. I'm okay, but I'm here. How is everyone? Had the day off, which was just as well, when I probably spent more of it asleep in the chair than I should have. Not well. Stuart's good. Sorry, Mark. Yeah, I don't know if you missed anything, to be honest. James is alive. Dirty patch of concrete. So, I broke my glasses today too. It's not been a good day, really. It's been a productive day, I guess. Yeah, I had the day off. I spent the day here. Christian turned up. Good stuff. Big ant down there. Let's zoom in on the big ant and have a look at him. Don't know what sort of ant he is. He's a fair lump of one. He looks like he'd probably bite if you let him. That's my thoughts about him. Hey Nigel, there was a new video from Nigel. I think there might have been a new one from Bill too. Yeah, I saw that. I'm going to unplug this phone because it hasn't charged up properly. And we'll see how we go. I'll get up in a minute. Look at the head spin's pretty bad, so I'm just going to get up slow because I'm not well. I forgot my hang on. Look at this. Let's do this because my volume's probably not real good. Or anything else, we could do this. Trading's come along really nice. Righto, can you hear me now? Is that better? Try not to tread on the cord or drop anything. Good stuff. Now, bust my glasses today, not real happy about that. I'm going to have to get some. Hey, Dan. That's something that happened today. Found my number 29 drill, which was actually in the battery drill when I went looking. Also found my screwdriver bit, which is in Ken's driver gun that he left here. But that was just then. Christian was here today. Christian's Sparky. He's a member of the club. Generally all-round helpful person. We've got new switchboard here, and the end, hopefully, of all our no more electricity problems. That's fixed, and we've got a proper fancy meter in the board. And switches and stuff, so it's a good job. Anyway, that was something that happened today, and I sort of held ladders and helped pull wires through and didn't do an awful lot more. As I'm got vertigo and I'm not real good actually, and I hope it's gone by tomorrow. Because right now I feel like I'm going to throw up. But anyway, we'll try not to. We also got the wire sorted out in the pole and back. So that's all fixed. No, it's not an ear infection. I've had it for a week, 10 days, off and on. The crystals come dislodged in my ear and got to get it sorted. But right now I don't really want to go to hospital or have another day off. So we'll see how we go tomorrow. It should be all right. Gonna have all sorts of things happening here, but none of it did. Got some photos. I guess everyone who's on Discord or so forth or wherever has probably seen them. Phil sent some photos of the Bay of Peacock engine. Now it's been sandblasted. Bit of a mess, to be honest. But it's probably fixable. You can see what's really wrong with it now. It's going to need a new sleeve in it and some ports and things. If anyone's in Manchester with nothing to do for a couple of days, I'll send you a list of drawings from the Manchester archives and you can look them up. So I've not had much luck. I've got these. I haven't got the bits back yet to have a look at, even really have a good look at it apart, because Phil took them for sandblasting. And move that along there and this, all this other stuff. Phil took them for sandblasting and I haven't been caught up with him yet. And the way fuel prices are at the moment, I don't know when that's going to be. So I've got a couple of drawings. That's about it. That's what reminded me. I've got this drawing of this part. Which is this bit. Actually 1-to-1, except for the wear, etc. So I've got that drawing. Now I've got all the studs. Some of the stuffing box studs, which have got a pin in them, apparently. They're going to be fun to get off. Steam chest glands, the same, with a pin across them. Hold them in place, push in with the pin. I'm guessing that's how you can get the studs out and get the gland off, or gland back far enough to pack them. The 2 long bolts, which are 2 foot 5 3/4 long. It's this piece here, which is a useful drawing because they're going to need remaking, because this is all I've got left. Let's have a look at them. Basically, looking at them, this is a shortened version, but that's them there. But it was probably brain infection. So that's that bolt, which is going to need remaking because there's not much of them left, to be honest. There's no thread on. If you look at this end here, it's missing some bits. So that's them. It's definitely the right engine. What else is on this drawing? Is the Scotch oak here? Now, this doesn't say it's threaded all the way down, and we'll have to have a look, but I don't think it is. There's a diagram of a pipe carrier. Don't know what that fits. There's these studs with the points on them. A chart for those. Some crack bolts, which I'm not even sure whether we need. There's a pin. This pin here. This is going to be a fun thing. This pin holds the flywheel on. Part number 3. One to this wheel shaft, 1.5 by 5/8 pin. So I've got to get that out. It's going to be more fun than putting a new one in. And here's the crankshaft, a short version of it, which was on the pump. Mine's a long version, which seems different. I'm not sure, but it's got an eccentric here. The main bearing runs on here and on here. And the flywheel goes on here. And there's a pin on the inside, of course, because that's the most fun place to put it, where that pin goes through that hole in the crankshaft. And it's got a crank machined into here for the 1.25 by 2.5 inch pin for to go in the block. So it's a list of parts. Some of them are pretty ordinary. I mean, this isn't real good, to be honest. As you can see. That's part number 8. This one is part number... I don't know, it just says one to this size. Anyway, that goes on this valve. We'll have a look over here at the rest of it. Oh, have a look here. The pin is in here, which is a fun place for it. I think, as far as I can see, the pin is in this side of the crankshaft. Now, it's got an eccentric there. No, I don't know what that is. The eccentric's in this housing. And there's a bearing runs in this side of the housing and in that side of the housing, and then the pin sticks out the side. If we have a look, get out the light here. So that's the bearing that the crank runs in, and one on the other side. This piece sticking out here is the remainder of that piece on the bench. It's been chopped off. And there's an eccentric inside here. You notice that this flywheel is balanced. It's got a hollow rim halfway round or 3/4 of the way round. There's no hollow in that side over there. I don't know, so this one's got a longer crankshaft. Randy, you're crazy. Don't freeze to death. So this has got some form of key in it, and then this gear is pressed on, and then that crankshaft sticks out past the flywheel, which it doesn't in the drawing. So at some point we've got to get some way of getting that and that off so that we can go through this box and fix the eccentric and all that stuff. Don't know what's involved in that. Anyway, there's that. Poor thing. I'll put it back away in a minute. Now that's the only real drawing I could find at the Manchester Archives. This is the only drawing I could find. I.C. Lambie copied this. It's a copy of drawing 21738. So it's the original. It's 21738 stenciled on here. But this is probably the date it was copied, I think. 1874. 1881 might be the copy date. This drawing may have been a revision in 1874 because this is a much earlier engine than this. So we've got that drawing, which is not particularly helpful because all the bits we've already got. And I've got this drawing, which is also not particularly helpful because there's bits that aren't actually on the engine. And it's very muddy. Peter's going to get washed out, I reckon. Category 5 cyclone about to hit. Poor guy. Sorry, Peter. So this is the side view of the pump, should we wish to incorporate it. I believe it to be a footplate mount pump, which is the later one. This one is for engines 3116 and 3417. Um, 3641 6136. I don't know what those Bayer Peacock engines are. Be very interested to know where the actual numbers are or if there's a record of that. But I don't know whether they're engine numbers or whether they're works numbers or whether they're order numbers. So on this one, these bolts come all the way through this casting on the bottom and bolt underneath on this plate, which is actually a big square plate. Let's put this on here so you can actually see. This big square plate here, or here, which I don't think is full size. Could be. Could be 5/8 studs. Yeah, it could be full size. 6 3/4 across. Yeah, 5 inches there. 6 3/4 across here. So it's a big casting. It's trying to find some actual dimensions. 16 inches by the actual casting, 16 inches that way, and 9.5 inches that way. 9.5 across here, and 16 inches this way. This is drawing number 2169. Bayer Peacock and Co. Gorton, March 1874. This plate is cast off the side of it, this shape, looking at the side of it, and there's a crack valve here. I believe it's delivery. This pipe runs down the side, or right round here like this, and the second pump. Now this is just a housing for the bolts support. It's a single cylinder pump, and this pump bore, which I may or may not have a dimension to, I don't know. I haven't got a clue what bore this pump is. It's got a big gland in the top of it. But anyway, it's irrelevant because this part of the pump is not been produced on this particular engine. I don't know why. I don't know what the engine was off. I don't know why it was made. I don't know if it was modified. I don't know whether it was made as a foreigner or whether it actually went out to a manufacturer of shearing equipment to be exported. Don't know if things were quiet and they made a few of these up. Haven't got a clue. So anyway, I've got that drawing. Not particularly helpful either at this point. Now, it's got all this information here. Like C21699. It's great. Cross section C21698. This is 21697. So there's a sister drawing to this one, which I don't know where it is. And there's notations like that all over everything, all over this one. I'm just trying to find an annotation on here. I don't know if I can see anything here. Old template, see drawing 1579. Which is a much earlier drawing. And there's engine numbers all over this, so I don't know what they were, but some of them seem like quite late engines. I mean, this is 8139. Two foot 6 for 839 and 2 foot 5 3/4 for anything else. Is that? Why it was, maybe it had thicker foot plates or something, I don't know. But it's only 1/4 of an inch wide, thicker or longer for these bolts. Steam pipe to steam chest for 6136 and 8139. No numbers on this engine. Anyway, that's the bit that's still on this eccentric, this half here. Don't know, I've tried to get all these drawing numbers or some more information on this and haven't really had much luck. Because the Manchester archives don't have obscure drawings like this digitised. So it's a matter of going there in person or talking to someone else, or I don't know. I have another lead to follow at the moment on this, and I might sit down and do that later on, some point. One of these old patterns says 16454, which would be the drawing with the correct pump base, I think, for this engine. But I haven't actually seen that one. 16545. And that's a much earlier drawing, I think, but it's not as early as this one here, 1579. It's only got 4 numbers in it, so it's a very early drawing. Anyway, don't know how much of it still exists. I haven't got a clue, but it's a bit of a mystery. That's one of the things that's entertaining us, and I don't know if anyone else is interesting, but anyway, we're going to have to chase that up a bit more. There is a museum in Sweden, I believe, that has one of these actually in operation on a locomotive of the correct type. So we're going to see what they've got. Manchester probably thinks the same as the Fowler Works, the John Fowler Works, I think. John Fowler archives, that information's probably most likely there, but it's indecipherable enough to make a record of them that it's got any accuracy. So no one's bothered, or they've passed over it, or they've made a record of it and they can't look it up, or something like that, I believe is what happens with Fowler records. So my build sheets for my engine are probably there for the roller, but can't find them because there isn't the information, or there isn't the accuracy of the information, or no one's quite sure because they're automatically digitized or something. No one's quite sure what number they are. So without more information, they're a bit hard to find. James B, I'm worried about the bandsaw too. I could really use the bandsaw this week. I'm going to have to go to work and use ours at work, which is a bit of a pain. But we'll move on to that. Have a bit of a look at that. This is where we're going with this. You saw the video. Haven't posted, I haven't really made any more videos because all this last weekend I spent helping a friend rebuild a lubricator for a steam traction engine. And that was a 2-day, bit of an epic journey to do that and replace some parts, and they come up really nice. But yeah, that's done. Anyway, next part on this really is I don't think we've quite realised 1984 as bad as it's getting. I think it can still get worse, Bill. Next thing really is the cylinder liner. I've got the bit of stuff for the cylinder liner, and I had a bit of a dig around. I'm going to have a bit more of a dig around because if I can find a short offcut, that'd be better. Otherwise, I'll go down on Friday and we'll chop this up. Got a bit of aluminium. Need to make a plug for this with a centre in it so that we can set this up with a centre on this end and the four-jaw on this end and machine the outside of it to fit in there. Shouldn't be a big job to do it. It's just we need a short bit of aluminium or something to do it. Might happen at some point. Got a present. Before we do that, these come in the mail. These are the dowel pins because you can't buy them anywhere locally in Australia. These are the cross pins for the arm across the top casting. So, having a look. These steel dowel pins, 3/4 by 1/4. Tip them out on the bench. Just a steel dowel pin. They go across here when it's machined down. One this end, one this end. So I had to buy a packet of them. They'll be useful at some point, but just as hard steel pin. One here, one here. They've arrived. What else? Guys up at the railway bought me this, which is really nice. It's an Audi job. But he had one and it seems really good. It's got drill brushes, which we can abuse. Be good for cleaning stuff up. Scrub and stuff. And a lot of half-decent Scotch-Brite wheels that I used his and they seem to be pretty good. And a Velcro back. So I want a piece to screw in to put in a drill. These don't work in a grinder. It's the right thread. I don't know why they put that thread in there. But you put them on a grinder and the Velcro just disappears. It just flies off. How do I know this? I know this. So they'll be quite useful. Might get a job actually cleaning the chimney up on that roller before I put it back on. Anyway, it's a stack of them. And I guess when they're all used, you either replace them with something or you throw them out. Anyway, 3 brushes and that. You probably beat over more of those dowel pins than any. Also got enough of that to do 2 of them. So anyone who wants to build one, get in touch. Got some bits. What else? There's another project we're doing. This is another thing that's sort of happening. A bit, sort of. There's actually a chalkboard that's going in the kitchen. Been working on that. And word on the front of the shed that we're restoring a bit because it was all starting to flake and come apart. So we've painted this up a bit, rubbed the frame back again. I'm going to put some top coat on that at some point. So there's that. William Mackey was here on Monday night. Need to do a bit of a job on some of these handles so they don't give us blisters. So cleaned all them up, which is really good. So that's another job done. He's also done a restoration job on the change wheel cabinet, which needs some termite preventative stuff before it gets filled up with about 200 kilos of change wheels. There we go. There was another motor arrived, which is kind of not much more use than the one that we've got, which is little, big, little. This one's 3 horsepower, which I think is probably plenty to run this lathe, but it's only got a little pulley. It's 1440 RPM. It's got a little pulley on it, and it gives us about 450 pulley speed on this, which gives us 375 top speed. Now, this one's got a bigger pulley on it. It's a bigger motor, so the pulleys aren't interchangeable. And it doesn't give us any faster speed because this is a 6-pole motor, so it only does 960 RPM. So it doesn't give us a lot of advantage. We could put this on it. It's going to use a lot of power. It's going to be a fairly powerful machine with it on there, but we could put this one on it too. And a bit more economic to run and certainly strong enough, but I think it needs a 5-inch pulley on it. Big one has more power. I don't think you're going to load this thing down. I honestly don't. If you're taking a 6mm cut off at 60, 70 thou depth of cut off a 12-inch shaft, then probably that little motor's going to feel it a bit. But honestly, power consumption with this is going to be a bit more too. And if you can't do the same job in 3 cuts, there's something wrong. So I think for our purposes, this one's plenty big enough, and it wants that's about probably a 5-inch pulley, I think, and it probably could do with a 7 on it. So we'll find a pulley for this. Probably just go and buy a taper lock pulley to go on it, decent one, and set it up, and then find some match belts to go on it. I think it'll run pretty well. Big motor good, poor power bad? Yeah, probably. This thing, if you start it up, that meter over there is just going to cook itself without oil in it. It's just, yeah, she's going to overspeed. But it might be all right. We'll have a look at it. We'll have a think about it. But I think this motor's going on it. Big slow motor's all right, but it's going to take forever to ramp up and slow down, and it's going to be noisy. And if we bolt it on the wall, it's going to vibrate like crap. I don't know. We'll see. So that's that. I did put a cord on this because no one else seemed to want to do it, so I put a cord on this. It seems all right. Could do with a new wire brush on it, a new grinding wheel, or at least a dress up. I might dress this grinding wheel up a bit, but it does work. 11 horsepower is a fair bit. It's got a cord on it, so that's another job we did. No, it's all good. It's not a big deal. Wasn't I did it? When did I do that? Oh, when William was here the other night. Projects. This saw is here. James keeps harping on about it. This needs a new circuit board, I believe. I was going to get Christian to have a look at it today, but we ran out of time. I don't think it's a motor. I think it's a circuit board. I'm going to have to buy it down and buy a circuit board for this from Hafco when they have one back in stock. It's a bit of a problem. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. Projects on this, slowly. I'm going to end up, leave that there. We're going to end up with the curve in this we don't really want. I'll put that up there. But the parquetry floor for this half of the workshop is underway at work. It's looking really good. So we can start thinking about putting some bits in place then. Get some stuff done. I've really got to pull these walls out and repaint them and paint them properly. That's a job as well. I'll put some undercoat on the back one anyway. So I might get there when I'm feeling a bit better. That's another thing. Don't know. There's a lot of stuff to put away. I had this sheet of plywood here, sort of, that I was going to sacrifice for the electrical board, but end up going down to work and find another bit that's a bit bigger. So that'll do the job nicely. We've screwed that on. It covers from there to there. It's nice and strong. And the meters and the power points all back in place. Everything's a fairly tight fit inside that box, but everything works. Pretty happy with that. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. They should be crap cheaper. Yes, they are generic and they're not that much cheaper, unfortunately. I've had a bit of a look for them and I didn't think they were all that much cheaper at all. Push comes to shove though, I'll buy one out of China at some point. This board turned up, which is actually a headboard off a bed that Paul picked up for the timber. Cost him nothing, I think. Anyway, this is make a nice inside sign. So I'm thinking if we put welcome to the steam shed or whatever we want to put on it, or do a paint job on it anyway and put it up. On one of these walls, or even up there might be nice. So that's, have a think about it. If anyone wanted to think of something to put here, we could do that quite nicely and do a good job of it. I've got 2 banners I'm supposed to be painting for Shannondale Steam Shed. It's a work in progress. They've got to be done, I guess, by about June or a bit before. There's a bigger one, the smaller one. They've got to have the logo on them and Shannondale Steam Shed, so that's another job. They need to be stretched out somewhere on the wall at some point. Got this abomination here. I'm going to probably send Dan at some point. Yeah, Dan, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Thanks for that. This abomination here with all these fittings, probably not going to put on the roller as is. I don't want to be that person, Dan, but if we got one of these with a male thread on this end and a male thread on this end, we could get rid of all this here and all this here, couldn't we? And if we got a tap, yeah, we could probably get rid of about 6 fittings or 7 fittings here, which would be kind of good. So, and we could let this back down. It could quite easily come down about another 4 inches without any problems, and so forth and so on. In black steel, absolutely. But that's right, I was going to ask you, where is the best place to get them? And we'll send for them or whatever, or get them posted or something. Because that's what I'd like to see. I'll sort it out. So getting them locally is a bit difficult. You can't get them. Isn't there somewhere in Brisbane or Sydney or somewhere that have them? Got a bit of a list. Give them a call and get them to post them up to us. We'll see what we can find. I'm going to say more than 15 millimetres. There's 3 fittings here. 1, 2. I mean, this one's probably important. Probably a tap with male to screw in here, and this to screw on the tap, and then a male elbow to screw in here and screw in here. Saves a lot of thread tape, nothing else. But anyway, we'll have a talk about it, and if there is someone in Brisbane I can get them from, we'll have a go. That might be a thing too. We'll see. Yeah, trying to use. I understand that. It just looks a bit fragile to me. Let's have a bit of a look. We've got time, so let's see whether we can work something out. You've done pretty well here. Absolutely. See what we can find. Yeah, I hear what you're saying there. Anyway, if it's going to be a permanent fixture, which it probably will be for a while, could be on there for quite some time. Maybe we should spend a couple $100 on it. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Model engineering, model and craft and art exhibition here in Glenray on June the 30th, 29th, 30th, 31st, something like that. Last weekend in June. 3 days. Mark Osborne, looking at you. Be very, very keen to get your tethered cars up here and all the guys. Be very cool. So bear it in mind. Last week in June, Shannondale Steam Shed has been offered a couple of tables for static displays inside. I don't feel like I probably want to run Steam. I think it's just going to be go and talk to people and not have to stress about other stuff sort of a day. But for this time anyway, we could put a static display, and maybe next year if it's still a thing, or if it works out, then we could have trains running and all sorts of things. But at this point, I think it's going to be a static display, but it's going to be fun. And we've all got lots of engines, lots of cool stuff to bring. We'll see how it goes. I haven't got anything actually running. That's why I'm saying that. Oh yeah, hence the union. I understand that, but I'm saying it's going to be something that goes on there fairly regularly. So might as well make something nice. We'll see how we go. I think you're on the right track here with it. We'll see how we go. Sorry, I'm back. Flat battery. Yeah, I just plugged it in again. And it's resumed, which is really nice. But yeah, once a pressure gauge and a steam unit, I just think it would be better if there wasn't quite as much hanging out the end to support it all. I think it's going to be cool. A very good idea. I look the floor. Yeah, there we go. Very good idea. I just think it could be compacted a bit. And they're all fittings we could absolutely use for something else in the future if we got some. So we'll see how we go. I ring my mate at the gas fitters in Brisbane sometime and see what they've got. Anyway, there's an art exhibition. At Glenray at the School of Arts, which should be quite good. It's called Steam and Cedar. I don't think there's anything really up and running or any real advertising or anything until the first of April. So from then on, it'll be full out. There is some art competitions or there's an art exhibition with prizes. Are you there, Peter? Peter's back. There is an art exhibition with prizes. The theme is puppets, I believe. which sort of write down our thing. So I've got a little automaton that I might just quickly knock up at some point if I get a chance. I don't think I'll have. I'd very much like to have the donation box finished, but on my own, that's a bit of a job. And even coordinating other people, that's a bit of a job. But we'll see how we go. Anyway, that's about it. Anyway, I just didn't want to leave the stream hanging, so I come back. But I don't know if there's a lot else really to cover. This weekend at the shed, there will be things going on. I think we're going to bolt that bench down nicely and put that vise properly on the end of it. I think that's going to be a job. We might have a bit of a go at getting that pulley off that engine as well, seeing as we spent all last weekend messing around with pole stuff, making some progress on that. Now, every now and again, I think I should share a picture on this live stream and I should be able to do it from here. I don't know how. To be honest, I have a button for muting the microphone. I've got a button for special effects. We can retouch off and on. That's all that's got. We can have a highlight. We can turn the video off. We can turn the lights on and off. And we can turn the flash on and off. But it doesn't say we can share a picture. So it depends sort of what version of the software we're actually using and when they've updated it and how it is. Anyway, I did have a picture of the little lubricator that we made. It never had a needle in it, and hasn't had for some time, I imagine. He said it's never worked, and he made up something that sort of works, but it gulps. So it had a ball with a pusher and a screw that pushed the ball off the seat, which doesn't really work particularly well. Especially since the pusher was missing and we had to take it apart, find the threads and all that sort of stuff. And probably we could have made something half reasonable, but in the end we desoldered it all and made a new centerpiece. And a new needle and put proper square on it and a thread on the end of it and made a little Bakelite handle out of sheet and polished it with a bit of car polish and it came up really nice actually and soldered it all back together. So that was a job for 2 days, but it's all working tonight. Hopefully it's back on the engine before too long. Matt's g'day. Anyway. Unzoom my camera. Unzoom it back. Hang on. There you go. I've unzoomed the camera. Now, what's wrong with you lot? Anyway, all jobs that need doing. Dad's away for the next foreseeable month, perhaps, being crazy busy with stuff. So I'll get some stuff done before he gets back. Promise. Um, we've got electricity sorted, so the next thing I'm on to is water, and see if we can push that a bit. See if we can get some extra water connected. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I think it's only 2 weeks. Maybe it's only 2 weeks. Time gets away. Boiler inspector's due in about a month, something like that. So that could be good. But it'll be 3 weeks before you turn up. Yeah. You got work in the middle of it all. So anyway, it doesn't matter. Whenever you get here, it's good. But appreciate you turning up sometime. You might see me midweek. Oh yeah, right. That works. We did say that. We did talk about that earlier. Anyway, that's what's happening here. That's pretty much an overview of the shed. Paul and I will get in and do some stuff this week and actually have this place a bit more presentable. And I will try probably tomorrow night to get in and have a bit of a go at the hot air engine and whatever else it needs. Tomorrow and Friday might be nights for that. I don't know. Still got to do some painting. There's lots of jobs to do. Lots of jobs to do. Coughs next week. Okay. Hey, Bill. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to call this. I've had enough. I'm going to bed, which is what we need more than anything else. And thanks for tuning in, people. Appreciate that. Thanks for the likes, etc. Sorry about the ads. Sorry, not sorry. And more soon, guys and girls. I'm out. And we'll catch you around. And some decent updates soon because I'm hopefully going to be feeling better tomorrow. I've got big handles to make all day tomorrow. And if I can get through tomorrow, then I'll be fine for the rest of the week. Right, I'm out. Catch ya. And more soon. Be kind to each other, eh?